Children, you should not do like this. You should eat what is served to you with respect. You know how much pain people take to prepare the food before it comes to your plate like this? Come on, eat fast, and let all of us watch that small documentary which my friend gave me. He has shot a little movie on the effort put by various people in preparing the food that we get on our plate every day. Let's see that, and probably then you may realize what is the worth of each item on your plate. Every day we eat many things during a day. For example, our mornings start either with tea, coffee or milk. Then we have dosa, idli, paratha or bread for our breakfast. This is all made of either rice or wheat. Then we have some fruits in between and have our afternoon meals. Again, we have our evening refreshments and a nice dinner at night. But have we ever thought how all these things reach us and who are the various people behind this to make it happen? Let's have a close look now by taking the example of some places in Andhra Pradesh.
Look, who is this on streets of your area? This is Gauri from Asripuram village. She is a small-time vegetable vendor selling the vegetables that she carries on her head. She gets such vegetables from nearby town and sells them on streets, going door to door asking residents whether they need any vegetables. There are some other ladies too from her village into the same business. Let's now know something about Gauri. Some hard facts about Gauri are that she gets up at 4 am, then she goes to the nearby town to get vegetables from wholesale market, and she travels by bus both ways, spending somewhere around rupees 25 on traveling. After getting all the vegetables, she stores all them at her house and takes some in one basket at a time to sell. When she finishes selling her basket, then she goes to her house back to get more vegetables to resume her selling again. In between, she also takes up her household chores like cooking, feeding her children and eating herself. The days she is so tired or sick, then she don't go out and take rest at home. However, that day she is unable to earn anything. It is difficult for her to manage without money. It is not that she earns a lot with selling vegetables, but whatever she earns, she has to pull on with that. How she prices her sale is something like this. If she gets something rupees 10 a kg, then she sells it for rupees 15 per kg. However, vegetables, as you know, are perishable items and cannot be sold altogether. Hence, when it is all fresh, then it is charged at more price, but by evening or at the time of vegetables getting old, they are all charged at the originally bought price or sometimes even lesser than that to avoid a bigger loss when the vegetables go completely bad and cannot be sold at all.
Out of this earning, Gauri is supposed to keep some for her next day's purchase. In case Gauri does not save her earnings for the next day's purchase, then she has to borrow it from a money lender or a self-help group or the wholesale merchant. It is not difficult to get help from these. However, they come with very stringent conditions for the same. Let me elaborate this and tell you in detail. Say for example, if she needs rupees 500, then the money lender or the wholesale merchant will give her an advance of only rupees 450. However, she has to return rupees 500 tomorrow. Rupees 50 is charged as an interest for lending rupees 500. Such situations will further go bad in case all the material procured for a day does not get sold and she is unable to make a profit.
As we learnt that vegetables very quickly go bad and fetch a very little price then. This is the reason that why small vendors like Gauri lead a very difficult life, and so people like her are immersed in huge debts always. Most of the times their earnings go only towards paying interest or vadi as known in Telugu.
These small traders have too much difficulty in getting money from legitimate sources like banks, as banks do not lend to such small traders for the reason that such vendors cannot provide any mortgage or security against the loans they take. Let me tell you a small fact here, that when we borrow money from banks, we need to provide some security against that loan. This rule has been made mandatory because if a person is unable to pay the loan, then bank can sell the security provided by him and recover the amount so lent.
As small vendors like Gauri do not have such thing to be mortgaged with bank to get loan, thus such vendors are unable to get cheap loans from banks. Another thing is that such small vendors also do not have facilities like refrigerators for preserving unsold vegetables, and so they have to sell such vegetables at a very low price at the end of the day. On the other hand, if we look at the large vendors who own permanent shops and also cold storage facilities or godowns to preserve their vegetables, they easily get loans from banks for a small amount of interest.
For this, we can only say that government should come up with some ideas to help such small vendors. Government can provide loans on some easy terms or can provide a common cold storage facility to such people on minimal rent for the same. This way, these small vendors can also become self-reliant and can contribute towards the growth of the economy. With this, we saw some reality about these small-time vegetable vendors who struggle in their life on a daily basis. Let's now see another format to learn more about trading of agricultural produce in our locality. Look there, we can see many people gathered in one place selling different items. Small children like you must have accompanied their parents to such markets in your areas. You know what are these called? These are known as Santha or Santhalu in the local language. These are known by different names in different parts of the country. However, they exist everywhere. They are the weekly markets arranged by various small traders. Santhas are the daily markets held on any particular day of the week. The day is decided on the convenience of the traders and the availability of buyers to them. Generally, the traders move from one market to another on different days of the week to sell their goods. The traders of Santhas procure goods from wholesale shops in the towns and cities and then sell it in the Santhas, thereby reaching out to a large section of people. That there are more than 25,000 such markets that operate in India and operate both in rural and urban setup. Let's see what they are like in Andhra Pradesh.
However, when we reached Nalgonda district, there we saw a weekly market running on Sundays at Chottupal. Chottupal is a small town in Nalgonda district where on every Sunday people selling different products gather to sell their items. Here we saw people selling different items right from fruits, vegetables to ready-made clothes to poultry items, fishes and even cosmetics and plastic items, and it extended all the way to selling livestock as well. It was all well arranged and there were quite different items on the list that were getting sold here.
Let's see now who all are there in the Chottupal Santa. Fact is that people from more than 40 surrounding villages come here to shop different things as per their requirement. One thing that we observed in Chottupal Santa is that there are individual spaces allotted for different things.
There is separate space for trading cattle, grocery and non-edible items. In the section where vegetables and fruits are sold, there is individual fixed place for every trader. The area where cattle are traded, there is facility provided like sheds to keep the cattle.
Like we saw Gauri's story, in Chautupal Santha, we met Indra, a dry chili seller. Let us see what her story is and what hardships she has to undergo to make both ends meet.
Indra is about 36 years of age and she's been selling these red chilies in various santhas from many years. She belongs to Kattangur village, which is about 50 kilometers from Chautupal Santha.
Let's now see how she is engaged all through the week in her business.
We were surprised to know that in a week, Indra travels to 4 different weekly markets and to 3 large villages to sell her daily chilies. Look at this wagon wheel of Indra's engagement all through the week of different areas. You can see the map also to get a clear idea how much Indra needs to travel for selling the dry red chilies. As we got to know about Gauri, even Indra gets up very early in the morning. She does all her household chores and starts for her day's santha or the village as per her schedule to sell her chilies carrying the big chili bags. She starts her selling by 10 am and winds up by 7 pm. Indra procures her requirement of red dry chili over the phone to a wholesaler in Khamman. She conveys her requirement to him and purchases the chilies. The wholesaler comes to her village on Saturdays and collects his payments. When Indra starts for her business for the day, then she along with other women in the village doing the same business gets into a lorry along with their big chilies bag to reach to a particular santha or village.
This is very strenuous job as she has to sit for long hours. Moreover, traveling long distances to different places all through the week and then sitting for long hours like this is very painful. One day she sets up the market in her own village and the last day, mostly on Saturdays, she makes the payment to the wholesaler. Indra earns about Rs 200 to 300 per day. However, there is no surety for the same. It is because the quality of chilies are always uncertain. Since she purchases all the chilies by ordering over the phone, so she is not able to check the quality of each bag physically. Thus, sometimes she gets low quality chilies for which she even incurs losses due to low sales. Indra is a member of a self-help group in her village. From the group, she borrowed a sum of Rs 30,000 to keep her business going. For the loan taken, she is now repaying a monthly installment of Rs 1200. However, she feels that it is better to borrow from a self-help group rather than from a money lender, as the money lenders charges 3% interest, which becomes Rs 3 per 100 rupees loan. On the other hand, self-help group only charges 25 paise per 100 rupees. This is because government has started a scheme of Pavala Vaddi for the low-income group people.
We just saw how a life of small-time trader is who needs to move from one place to other to sell his or her purchase. Now let's see what are the other things associated with such santhas. Other than agricultural produce like vegetables or fruits or chilies, we can also see that things like cloth, torches, matches, pots, utensils, tools, baskets, plastic items, etc. are also sold by some small traders in these santhas. Each trader participating in such santhas is supposed to pay a tax of Rs 10 to the town panchayat. The town panchayat maintain the place where santhas are organized and make sure to keep the discipline. In this organization, there are separate santhas where cattle are traded. People here come to buy goats, sheep, buffaloes, cows and ox. Cattle are bought from the neighboring villages and also from some far-off places to such santhas for trade. In cattle santhas, we can see brokers who help the farmers in their transactions and take their commission in return. In turn, during our survey on Santhalu or santhas, we observed one major thing. That is, most of the traders in santhas are women. To be precise, we can say that nearly 3/4 of the traders are women. Many of them participate in such santhas as that is their traditional business. This means that their families have been doing this business for generations, so they just are continuing the same to earn their livelihood.
The town panchayats make the santhas in such a way that various spaces in the santhas are reserved for a specific trader. No other trader can come and set up a shop in that place. Most of these traders choose weekly santhalu. This means that they set up shops in different santhalu and come back to a place once a week. The routes are decided by these traders according to their convenience.
With all our survey of these small-time traders of various items of agricultural produce, we saw that these small-time traders selling agricultural produce, particularly perishables like fruits and vegetables, face many difficulties as we saw in case of Gauri and Indra.
As most of the traders come from far off places to these santhas to sell the goods that they have purchased from wholesale markets, so they face many difficulties as we learnt in case of Gauri and Indra. Most of the times, these traders do not have storage facilities and they have to keep all their goods in their houses. In case they are not able to sell the perishable items by the evenings, then they have to take things back by paying transport expenses. Or sometime they even have to sell these goods at a lower price than they have paid to purchase the same just to avoid heavy losses.
Thus, santhas become an important place where the daily needs of the people are fulfilled. Santhas provide daily livelihood to a large number of small traders, laborers and transporters. Till now we saw that most of the agricultural goods like grains and pulses are sold by the farmers or the agriculturists directly to the wholesale merchants, and all the small traders buy these goods from the wholesale merchants to further sell it in retail format to the customers.
During our documentary making process, we met Ram Gopal in one such Raithu Bazaar. He is a farmer in Sithamdhara, Raithu Bazaar in Visakhapatnam district. Let's see what he has to tell about his trade and the experience. We conducted an interview with him and got to know certain first-hand information as we got for Gauri and Indra.
Ramagopal told us that he started coming to this bazaar in the year 2003, whereas his neighbor is coming here since 2000. We were curious to know that who can come to such bazaar to sell their products. On asking this, Ramagopal told us that when it started, then certain government officials came to his village to issue photo identity cards to the people who were willing to sell their produce in Raithu bazaars. We also saw that though the Raithu bazaars were meant only for farmers to sell their produce directly to the customers, there were certain millers and women traders from self-help groups who also participate here with their own stalls in the bazaars. The main reason millers come here is to procure paddy from the farmers, and women from self-help group participate to sell the vegetables cultivated in the district.
Another interesting fact about the Raithu Bazaar is that only the millers and women from self-help group having their own stalls in the bazaar pay rent to the government. Rest of the people like Ram Gopal do not pay any rent. This provides a good opportunity to the small farmers and producers to sell their products at a cheaper rate, as they are not paying the rent of the premises.
When we further asked Ramagopal as to why he started coming to this Raithu Bazaar, Then we got to know that earlier, like many other farmers, he used to go to wholesalers to sell his produce.
After our survey and a talk with vendors like Ram Gopal, we could conclude that Raitu Bazaars are actually a boon to small-time vendors like Ram Gopal.
Here they get a space to store vegetables, a place to sit and sell their produce, are saved from the hassles of wholesalers, and even get some basic amenities like toilets, etc. We saw that in such Raitu Bazaars, people from more than 10 to 15 nearby villages all feel that here they have some identity for themselves, unlike wholesale market where they were strangers.
Another thing about these Raitu Bazaars is that when all the traders come in the morning, then the government officers, after consulting with a committee set up for this purpose, set the price for the day for various products. This committee also includes 3 farmers. Here they follow a principle to set the price to benefit the traders as well as the consumers. According to the principle followed, the price is fixed 25% more than the wholesale price and 25% less than the retail price.
Not only the small traders but also the customers are happy with the setups like Raitu Bazaars. Here they not only get fresh fruits and vegetables but also get many other things like pulses, tamarind, dry chilies and edible oil. All this they get at a very reasonable price. This setup has made both trades and customers very happy as they get the value desired from their sale and buy respectively.
As we have 2 sides of the coin, similarly the other side of this Raitu Bazaar is that here still there is a scope for improvement and proper management.
They will be left with some corner places to occupy. Also, people do not have facility like parking for vehicles. Sometimes due to lack of proper check, some people enter the bazaar disguised as farmers to sell their products, to sell their produces, when they actually are not. Also, these bazaars are still not so beneficial for the people coming from very far places.
We just saw that how small traders work and make us available the things we need in our daily life. We saw that how they lead a difficult life to make their ends meet. We have a second part to this documentary to learn more about the trade in agricultural produce. So children, hope you understood the difficulties faced by some people whom you see on daily basis. Now, you must have also realized how difficult it is to grow and sell these vegetables and fruits and how people lead a very tough life. I hope you can understand the fact that we must respect their hard work and also pay respect to the food we get to eat. We must be thankful that we are leading an easy life. Now you have become more curious to learn about this, but it is time to finish your homework. Finish it fast, then we will all sit and watch the second part of this documentary.